What's going on, Phantom Force and Cosmox fans alike? This is Phantom Base coming at you with our week number 1 PMC Season 6 team prep. I know things look a little different. Usually you're used to seeing me, do these team builders quote unquote from scratch. Um, but I'm taking a different route this time. I'm trying to go a little more educational, but a lot less hand-holdy. You know, I kind of want to cater this more towards people who've been doing this a while now, especially because I don't really have all the time that I used to do these videos. So, but I do still want to do them for you. I love doing these team prep videos. I feel like they're really helpful. At least to me, they are. So I like watching team prep videos. And as you'll see, we have our matchup week 1 versus the Portage Herdiers, coached by just Kurt. Uh, and the team matchup should show up right about now. And as you'll see, he has the big scary Landers Therian. And then he's got that behind Veil with Latios. It's just disgusting already. He's got Bronzong and P2, Mega Blastoise, Kong, Stunfisk, Avalugg, Tangela, and Azumarill. Z Captains, of course, Landers, T, and Stunfisk. Ignore Z Quag over there, that's just for fun. I do eventually want to bring it sometime this season, but it's there because I don't want to why waste the Z points, you know? I just have only one Z mom and you can have two. One more thing to prep for. Anywho, so this team went through a lot of changes. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, we started out originally with like Ferrothorn, a Chapel Ferrothorn on here, with a Fizz Quag to kind of handle Landers T a little bit. We had a very offensive Mega Heracross. We had a very Spadef Mega Heracross with Sub. We had a Life Orb Salazzle. We had no Heliolisk at one point. We had no Garchomp at one point. This team was just kind of I want to say it was kind of a wreck. But you know what? We decided after a while we'd go with the Double Lizard Core and Garchomp and such. And let me explain my team as we go. So first, let's look at the threats to my team. One, my team, my entire draft has no switch-ins, to Sky Strike Landers. Nothing switches into Sky Strike Landers at all. Also, I originally had a Scarf Mesprit on the team, but like I said, things just changed. A lot of things changed. Anywho, so we're gonna I guess let's go back into the threat assessment. My team has 0 switch-ins to 2 things on this team: Sky Strike Landers and offensive Ninetales. Especially this team that I have, but my team in general, I don't have a good ice resist. Salazzle is my ice resist. Ferrothorn is not an ice resist. Clefable's not an ice resist. Cofagrigus is not an ice resist. I don't switch in well to it at all. A nasty plotting, blizzard spamming Ninetales literally just 6-0s me. As long as it's gotten the proper chip on things, but like it's such a nuisance. Veil plus setup Ninetales is just disgusting versus me. Offensive or Sky Strike Landers, or even bulky Sky Strike Landers, just puts a dent in my team. Life Orb Latios is annoying, but it's not a huge threat. Bronzong is a nuisance. Bronzong is a huge nuisance to my team. It's a good lure to try to check my Salazzle, which is Kinkeldor is a decent nuisance, but like it's not a huge threat. But the big threat that really breaks my team down is Azumarill. That thing I have no switch-ins for at all. My best switch is Cofagrigus, or Ferrothorn, maybe Quagsire if it's not a Bandit set. And this thing is, if it's a Splash Blade set, that's a problem too. Because if I'm gonna run Quag this match, I gotta run it unaware. because Clef needs Magic Guard for some of the things to be Status Absorber or to be Rocks and Hail Ignorer. Also have Mana Buzzer. There's a Hail Ignorer, but we're gonna we're we're gonna have not much further ado. Just gonna hop into this mess because this is quite the team. So first up, you're gonna see my Garchomp here running. Originally, I had a Sash League Garchomp on there, but I decided against it. But I actually don't want to talk about my Garchomp just yet. I want to go and talk about what it's going to eventually be our lead. Always our lead. That's our focus at Salazzle. Here we originally had it set to be Nasty Plot, or to be Life Orb numbers, but it really doesn't make a difference because it also is uneven HP, which is what I need for this thing to switch into Rocks more. Fun fact for those of you watching this, not every Mon has to have uneven HP. Things that resist Rocks don't need uneven HP. Like, if the even amount of HP gives you the calcs you need, run it. Your only things that need uneven HP are things that are weak to Rocks. So, or things that might be running Life Orb, like Salazzle was going to, and anything ending in a 9 is perfect Life Orb number. But anywho, this set is my guaranteed anti-lead, essentially. It leads well versus everything on his team. It helps me scout for sets. If he's got a Scarf Latios or a Scarf Landers out there, we'll easily be able to tell it. And if he leads either one of those, I'm going to attack outright. If he leads Ninetales, I may actually switch to preserve my Sash. But I don't think that would be the case if he, because I can blow the thing away with Sludge Wave. So it may be that I have to make a prediction there. But I think overall, my safest course of action, if he leads Ninetales, is to go into, I won't say either Heliolisk or Heracross. Heracross seems questionable, but he's not going to go Moonblast against a 4 Quad Resist. And, especially not when I can outspeed and just straight up kill. It may be Heliolisk that I go to, because that way I can chew a potential Psyshock coming into if he's Scarf Ninetales for some reason. But this particular set, we have enough speed to outspeed Latios. This coverage hits his entire team neutrally, if not super effectively. His switch into Sludge Wave plus Flamethrower does not exist. Literally, the combo of my dual stabs like body his entire team. The reason I have Dragon Pulse is because it does stronger damage to Latios, a +2 Dragon Pulse one-shot. Flamethrower, obviously he's going to one-shot Avalugg and Tangela. Sludge Wave one-shots Ninetales and Azumarill. +2 Flamethrower after Rocks kills Landorus, unless he's bulky. The only mons that stop this set are Porygon 2 and Blastoise. Even a +2 Sludge Wave is doing a huge chunk to both of them, so it doesn't matter. And P2 is kind of setup fodder. Unless he has Thunder Wave, but I actually would probably scout for that going into Heliolisk, because you'll see why in a minute. But yeah, this set is generally really good against him. Originally, it can potentially be a win condition in late game if I needed to check an out of control Landorus. Like if he's got like a Sword Stance up and he's already busted his Sky Strike, then we get potentially Nasty Plot on it. And if he's weak, and we can. If we have our Sash attack, we can still kill him and be at like 1 HP. Granted, this thing is kind of switching. This thing kind of baits in Azumarill to spam Aqua Jet, which is why we have Heliolisk. And in particular, I'm going to solve this Heliolisk this week because for a couple reasons. One, always checks Aqua Jet spamming Azumarill. If he's banded, he has to choose. He has to predict. And that's kind of tough with the rest of my team because if he has Superpower, nothing else on my team cares about Superpower. If he has Knockoff, Heracross literally does not care about Knockoff. If he has Play Rough, Salazzle doesn't care about Play Rough. Everything else on my team doesn't really appreciate it, but Salazzle doesn't care about it. Because Quad Resist is a thing. But if you go and go for Play Rough, then he's dead. Thunderbolt one-shots Max HP Azumarill. That's what this investment is for, but really the investment is for us to be able to take a modest Aura Sphere from Mega Blastoise after Rocks, and we two-shot with Thunderbolt, so that's always nice. HPI specifically for Landers, we one-shot it unless he's bulky, but after rock speed to kill even a bulky Landers. U-turn is for obvious initiative against things like Landers, against switches like potentially Assault Vest can kill her, or maybe even something goofy like Tangela, or even a Ninetales switching if he's a bulky set. Dark Pulse is specifically for Latios and for Bronzong to hit them with harder damage. Dark Pulse is going to be doing more than Thunderbolt to Bronzong, and also more than HP Ice to Latios. So I found that necessary. So those two, the Lizard Core is going to go hand in hand here to really help check help offensively check a lot of his team, because they outspeed the vast majority of his team. He loses speed ties with his speed ties with the Ninetales, and what is it? And outspeeds everything else. Salazzle outspeeds everything. And then now we're going to get into more of our team. The rest of the team is we have our Z-Garchomp here. Enough speed to outrun Landers Therian outright, just because why not? That way I could scout for Scarf. We're running a Darkinium Z set this week, and here's kind of the reason why. Rocks, because we force switches. Garchomp always forces switches, but Rocks is because it's my best rocker this match. I need Clefable for other things. Running SD, EQ, and Crunch. Crunch is my best coverage between both Bronzong and Latios. And he has a lot of Earthquake switches. He has Landers, he has Latios, he has Bronzong, he has Tangela, honestly, Avalugg. Like, a lot of good EQ switch-ins. But a lot of those don't appreciate a Z-Crunch. And the ones that do can handle a Z-Crunch don't like Salazzle's dual stab. So that's always nice. But Z-Crunch, even a +1 Z-Crunch, because I'm factoring in Intimidate from Landers, because I know he's going to switch it in at least once, just to get an Intimidate off. But if I can get an SD up first, +1 Z-Crunch one-shots a physically defensive Bronzong that doesn't have a Culver Berry. +1 EQ does a huge number to his team. +1 Crunch does a huge number to his team. +1 EQ one-shots Ninetales. But especially after rocks. But +1 Earthquake one-shots Ninetales. +1 Crunch one-shots Latios. +1 Z-Crunch knocks out Bronzong. Like, I'm just factoring in +1. Forget about +2. +2 just destroys everything. But this thing has a few switches on his team, and the things that do switch in, I can get rocks up on. And I can actually, the things that I don't break with this thing, I set up on. Unless it's Avalugg. But the only threats to this thing really are Azu, but even then Aqua Jet spamming Azu, unless he's banded, doesn't 2-hit KO me. You'd have to be Belly Drum, and if he Belly Drums up, Earthquake is going to 2-hit KO. And even then, I don't know if a +6 Aqua, and this is the thing, is if he is a Belly Drum set, then I just switch, after I would sack this thing off to get Earthquake plus a rough skin damage, and then go into Heliolisc. And he's forced to be slower than me. And either has to switch, or he has to stay in and sack. And he can't, I don't think he can afford to sack with Azu. Now he can potentially get another Belly Drum up, but yeah, so these three mons already just work really well together. I really like the whole quad resistance, or quad weaknesses thing where they don't share any of them, because Heliolisc doesn't appreciate ground types, but I've got Mandibuzz and Heracross in the back to handle those. But yeah, those are kind of more my offensive mons. I'm going to go into some of my defensive core, and yes, you're saying, what, you didn't even go over Mega Heracross? I'm like, I know. But let's go into Clefable first. This Clefable set is pretty specific. The spread's not only because it is literally my only way to handle Landorus. Offensive Landorus, if I can get a Protect up, Sky Strike does like 20% max. Supersonic Sky Strike does not kill me after rocks, which is great. Ice Beam will kill, regardless of its spread on anything, unless he's Yashi Berry or Assault Vest. If he's Assault Vest, he's not Sky Strike, which means he's not a threat. If he's Leftovers, he's not Sky Strike, means he's not a threat. Also means he's bulky, means that Heracross can 1v1 this thing, especially if he actually brings Fly as his coverage. Though I expect more an HP Flying set. I expect a lot more, especially offensive Landers, honestly. Because if he's going to bring it, he's going to have EQ, he's going to have Fly, or he's going to have HP Flying, he's going to have Grass Knot, and either Defog or U-Turn, maybe even Stealth Rock on it. But I think he's going to bring rocks on Bronzong, so there's no reason to put rocks on Landers. If he brings a Sky Strike set, he's bringing Swords Dance. And that's just the thing. I can't really afford to bring Quagsire here, because it's just encore locked by Ninetales. It's set up fodder for Latios. It's it's set. It's not set up fodder for Landers, but it's still drops to Sky Strike and Earthquake. So that's always a nuisance. Like I said, my Sky Strike resist does not exist. Heliolisk dies to a +2 Sky Strike anyway. So yeah, that's a problem. Next up, we're gonna have a very interesting set, Mega Heracross. This set is very particular. We are not one shot by a Banded Aquajet from Azu after rocks. And Bullet Seed always kills Azu. This set also walls, Mega Blastoise. We switch in after rocks, we take 2 water pulses, and we kill Bullet Seed. Every time. And we can always protect up to wear down Veil's turns. But the reason for protect is so that if he's not, oh, this was actually Guts, by the way. I changed it last minute to Guts instead of Moxie. But before Mega Evolving, obviously, because we don't have to Mega Evolve first turn, and I wanted to be able to potentially catch a Toxic and start spamming, Guts boosted Bullet Seeds, Pin Missiles, Brick Breaks. Originally, I had Toxic Protect on this Heracross, but I decided last minute that Pin Missile would be better in case he decides to get cheeky and try to switch in Latios, because there's a point where I can get enough damage on the resist to Pin Missile that I can kill them even with Pin Missile. I'm gonna start spamming Pin Missile because I won't give Latios a free switch in or an aggressive switch in even. But a Bullet Seed is particularly for Blastoise and Azu. We one-shot Azu and we kill Blastoise after rocks with max HP. Protect is to scout, or so that we take max like 25 or 30% from Supersonic Sky Strike from Landorus, and then after that we can proceed to wall it with Fly spam. EQ isn't touching us hardly at all. We can always get Wish spammed up with we can get Wished back up with a Clefable. And this spread, like I said, it's particularly meant to take a hit from Azu. We take on Conkeldurr rather well. Latios can't kill us in a shot. Ninetales can't kill us in a shot. What else can't kill us in a shot? Non-Sky Strike Landers can't kill us in a shot. What else does he have on his team? Bronzong can't kill us in a shot. P2, we destroy. Maybe P2 1v1 with this set. Originally I had a subset that had enough SPDF to make sure we could actually set up on P2. But after I realized P2 wasn't coming, there wasn't a reason to bring that. Or I knew P2 wasn't coming. It's bad versus my team. A lot of my team sets up on it. Kafagrigus can beat it. Mandibuzz can taunt it down and just start getting initiative for me. Heracross definitely beats it. An Adamant Mega Heracross one-shots even a physically offensive Porygon 2 with close combat. So there's no reason for him to bring Porygon 2. And that's with the Violite. Like, Mega Heracross is just too strong. I mean, you'll see I have 36 investment with an Impish Nature and I still hit 210 physical attack. That's ridiculous. This speed is just to avoid speed creeps. This Fidef is to, like I said, so I can take 2 water pulses from Modest Blastoise after rocks and be able to essentially 1v1 Blastoise. I can Bullet Seed up and or Bullet Seed it and it dies after rocks. There's not much else to say about this set. But yeah, our last Pokemon is kind of the glue for this team. It is our Mandibuzz. We're bringing a very SPDF heavy set, and you might be wondering why. No taunt, but you'll see why in a second. Okay, first off, I have no reason to run taunt on this thing because this thing will automatically threaten out Bronzong. This thing automatically threatens out Porygon 2 because of the fact that just the threat of taunt is there. I don't have to actually click it. We have Defog specifically to get rid of Veil and Rocks. Rocks are not as detrimental to me as they are to him, but Veil is annoying to me. It's not hard to work around, but I'd rather not have to deal with it if I don't have to. Roost is because Roost, And knock off is to get rid of items like potential Life Orb Latios, Leftovers, or Resolvus Landris, um, any Berry Bronzong or Ninetales, or Light Clay Ninetales, Leftovers Ninetales. Scout for Z move on Landris to get rid of potentially Choice Band or Expert Belt or Splash Plate Azu, or even Berry on Azu. Also lets me get rid of, oh, what else on this team? I don't know, and U-turn. U-turn is the clutch move here. This speed, like I said, is enough to outspeed Adamant Azumarill, which he's not going to run Jolly Azumarill. There's no reason for him to run Jolly Azumarill. It's a stupid bring Jolly Azumarill, because it cannot one-shot Salazzle with Aqua Jet if he doesn't bring an Adamant set with either Splash Plate or Expert Belt. He cannot one-shot Salazzle with Aqua Jet, which is funny as crap, because Salazzle isn't known to be that bulky, but it can live that hit. That's the funny thing. Now, here's the thing. If I knock it off, Salazzle instantly becomes a better answer to a lot of things. If I can knock things off, Salazzle is just a good way to win, because if I get rid of things like Scarves or offensive boosting items, Mandibuzz walls things and Salazzle beats things. Like, every time. It's just crazy what this team can do with this coverage. But U-turn is the clutch move, because Mandibuzz is going to force offensive switches, whereas freaking Salazzle and Garchomp force defensive switches, as well as Heliolisk. So, with that in mind, his most probable switch-ins to Mandibuzz are Landorus and Blastoise, because they can easily do any hit this thing goes for, and can really retaliate back and put a dent in my team if I let them. But with U-turn turns my 50-50s into initiative advantages, essentially. So anytime, because I can pretty much predict that he's going to go, I can pretty much tell when he's going to go into another move. Because if I get a Roost off after I've taken a hit from something like, say, Latios, or if he goes into something like Landorus and goes for Stone Edge and doesn't fail to take me out or anything like that, and I Roost up, then he may, especially things like Latios or P2, if he brings P2. Bronzong, I'm going to force that thing to switch pretty easily. So clicking U-turn versus it is pretty free. If I aggressively bring in Heliolisk as well versus something like Landorus, he knows that HPIs, he's going to be switching. U-turn on both of these mons gives me really good initiative into things that handle them and put the momentum back in my court, which is what I need. Momentum in this game is how I'm going to win. That's essentially the strategy behind this team, is that I get momentum early. And that this anti-lead Salazzle really puts the pressure on early and really gets momentum going in my favor. And after that, I can use my initiative with these two mons to get into things like Garchomp to get Heracross, or even to Clefable as a pivot. And then I can go out into other things like Heliolisk, just switch into things like Aqua Jet spamming Azu, or maybe even Aqua Jet Blastoise that wants to try to pick off a weakened Salazzle. But this thing can wall Alola Ninetales if it's not boosted or doesn't have a boosting item. It walls Latios, period. Any move that's not Thunderbolt or Ice Beam against Mandibuzz is not too killing, because two Dracos back to back don't kill me. If it has a Life Orb and I knock it off, it loses to Mandibuzz every time. I can roost on it. I can U-turn out. I can knock off everything else. Like, Mandibuzz is such a good mon. But yeah, that's my team essentially. That's the whole point behind this team. Now, let's look at some of the things that I think he's going to bring. The 6 I expect him to bring, because after a lot of mocks with and once again, you guys haven't seen the battle yet, but I have already recorded that match. The match has already happened, but I'm trying to talk about it like it hasn't. The mons I expect, the 6 best mons I expect him to bring are Landorus, Therian, Alola Ninetales, Bronzong, Latios, Mega Blastoise, and Azumarill. Double Waters just really break through my team and really help for Latios, Ninetales, or Landorus to clean up. His team's going to be really offensive versus this week, I feel. because he really can't afford, like, his only pivots really are going to be like Ninetales of Bronzong. That's really it. Like, his other option could potentially be an Assault Vest King Keldor, but really I think Azumarill does the job better. For as far as priority spam. Anyway, but yeah, let's think. Big shout outs to the guys that helped me mock. I know I shouted you out in the battle, but I want to shout you out here too. Thanks to Jacob as always, of course. He and I always work together on stuff like this. He's a good friend, and I really enjoy being in leagues with him. Go check out uh, his battles as well. He's in this league as well. I think he's actually facing the Verge this week for week 1. But anywho, go check him out. Who else? JB Westside, good dude. Serene Grace, Aaron 12. Who else helped me mock? Shoot, who else helped me mock? Oh, of course. Pieces. How can I forget? Gypsy King. Big help there with helping me mock. Really brought a set of Ninetales that I really, not that I wasn't expecting, but that I really didn't want to see. And it just does a huge number to my team once Salazzle's gone. So I really have to play my Salazzle correctly, or scout his Ninetales set first. But I think the combination of Salazzle plus AV Helios plus knockoff, or plus Heracross and Clef and Mandibuzz can really handle that. Like, his team gets really overwhelmed by my bulk because there's not many ways he can break it unless he just gets some really good momentum in his favor or some really good initiative going. But other than that, that's really all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you go check out, if Kurt's doing a team builder, go check his out. If not, go check out his side of the match. Go check out all the other coaches, as week 1, our battles will be starting tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.